Welcome to another episode of Dr. Jarrett's Science Shenanigans. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about things that sink and things that float. So, to be able to do this at home, you would just need some type of container. And I just have like a small little aquarium container that I have here. And you want to put some water in it. And then you want to get some items. So I have some items in my little bucket. And we're going to see if they're going to sink or they're going to float. Then what I'm going to do with it is I also put the name on these little sticky notes and I'm going to put them under the sink or the float. You're also going to take a poll. You're going to make an observation, take a guess, and to determine if that object is going to sink or float. And then we're going to test it out. So, what do you think about the paper? Is this going to sink or is it going to float? Think about it. What do you think? What do you think? All right, so we're going to try it out. And it floats. So the paper is going to go underneath the float column. Now we have a metal spoon. Metal spoon. Do you think it's going to sink? Or do you think it's going to float? Sink or float? Sink or float? Let's try it out. It went down. It floated. It sinked. It sinked. Sorry. Metal spoon. Now we have a plastic spoon. A plastic spoon. Now we already had a metal spoon and it sinks. Now we have a plastic spoon. Let's see what happens with the plastic spoon. The plastic spoon, it sinks too. We have a matchstick. So basically a little piece of board or a piece of wood. What do you think? Take your prediction. Make your prediction. Sink or float? Okay. It floats. A quarter. Well, the paper sinks because it got all wet. So that's why it started to sink. And then it'll get all mushy and nasty. All right, so we have a quarter. What do you think? Quarter? It went straight on down. So, quarter sinks. Now we have a crayon. Now we have a crayon. What do you think? Make your prediction. Is it going to sink or is it going to float? It went down too. All right. Now we have a pen. Now we have a pen. Pen. Make your prediction. Whoa! That was unexpected. The pen floats. Pen floats. What about a puzzle piece? What about a puzzle piece? What do you think is going to happen? Sink or float? Sink or float? It floats. And then we have a plastic duck. What do you think? Sink or float? Sink or float? Oh, well, it went on its side, but it still floats. So, in saying all of this about the items that sink and they float, it's all because of the word density. It's all because of the word density. So, the more dense an item is for water, if it's dense than water, it is going to sink. Meaning it has more mass. If it has more mass, it's going to sink. If it has less mass, then it's going to float. Meaning that it's heavier than the water, it's going to sink. If it's lighter than the water, it's going to float. And that's what this means. Less density, it's going to float. More density, it's going to sink. The more mass And the less air an object has, the more dense it is. So I hope you enjoyed this session of Dr. Jarrett's Science Shenanigans as we looked at some items that float and some items that sink. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.